Lovely day, everybody. This will be a counter for strength practice, and hopefully you're nice and warm after this. If you're not nice and warm, maybe just do a quick 5-minute warm-up to get yourself ready, just to get the most benefit out of these stretches. Not saying there won't be some cardiovascular, but it's mostly going to be geared toward extra lengthening. So find the top of your mat. For this one, go real wide with your feet. Whenever I do stretching sort of practices, I like finding a little more power, even though it's going to be a bit slower. So take your feet wide, but do the same thing as you would in a strength practice. Try to squeeze the legs together. You can see I am shaking. I squeeze my glutes to make sure I'm up. Draw the core in. Inhale, hands go above your head. Exhale, hands go behind your back. Interlace your fingers like so. If you want to give yourself a little more space, but still clasp, I like taking a little Kali Mudra, which is just like make it a little peaceful pointer. We have a tendency to let our ribs come out. So here, if you do that, if that's you, start with the hands on the butt, draw the ribs down, and then once you have it, keep a little micro bend in your arms and draw the arms away. That way your core doesn't pop out. Draw the core in, navel to the spine, ribs down, and begin to take your arms away as much as possible. Keep the shoulders down, the shoulder blades draw together, but they go toward the front. So don't just crank on them. They go down first, then in. And we'll be here for just a moment. If you want, you can do the full interlace, palms pressed together. Either way will help you really get a stretch here. Inhale, bring your left hand to the outside of your right glute, and you can connect it. And when you do that, bring your left ear to the left shoulder. Drop the right shoulder even more. Maybe drop the hands down the hip. And for me, that feels really lovely. Draw the ribs in and energetically pull the feet. Don't lose the feet. Inhale, bring the head back to center. Bring the palms back to center. Stretch them back. Keep the micro bend in the elbows. Exhale. Right hand to outside of left glute. Right ear to right shoulder. Drop the left shoulder. Pull the core in. Squeeze the legs. Maybe drop the hands down the hip without losing the core, without losing the squeeze in the legs. Open up the neck. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Back to center. And we'll go back up, hands above the head. So inhale. Touch above your head, pull the ribs in, pull the core in. Exhale, fold all the way down. Now, like I said, hopefully you're warm, but if you're not warm in the hamstrings, you can take a little bend and you'll still get a good feeling out of this. We're gonna do an asymmetric Padahastasana. So take your right hand to lift your right foot. Right hand, the top of the right hand goes to the bottom of the mat. And we're just gonna pull down. Traditionally, people let the elbow go out to the side. Instead, rotate the bicep a little bit forward. The eye of the elbow is still kind of facing toward your left foot, and just pull the elbow toward your shin. You can either straighten your right leg as you bend your right arm, or you can keep it bent. You'll still feel something. In fact, I encourage you to try both. You'll feel a different place no matter what you do. Inhale, release the right hand and the right foot. Do it on the left side. So left foot lifts, left palm up to the bottom of the foot, top of the left hand back. You can do traditional if you like. I prefer it more where I chase the shin with my elbow. So I'm kind of bending while I'm straightening the left leg. I bend the right leg and I get a lovely little tingle all the way up through the left leg. Starts at the base of my heel. If I really want to do it, I can pull it up and push it down. Push the fingers into the heel, the toes into the wrist. And pull down, bend the head down. If you're feeling really stable, you can take your right hand to the back of your head and gently pull downward. Don't crank it inward so much toward your chest, but pull the head down toward the mat. Inhale, right hand back, left hand releases. Find a flat back. Exhale. We're going to do it on both hands. So right foot on right palm, left foot on left palm. Be careful with your balance here. Inhale, find a little traction. So straighten both legs, push the toes into the wrist creases. And almost as if your head is going past the mat. You can keep the head straight, but energetically lift your hips up, pull your shoulders down with your feet. So you're pulling in both directions, down and up. Exhale. Bend the elbows straight toward the shins. Keep your core in, and that should help release the inner groins, the lower back, maybe even upper the back. So inhale. Pull with your hands up while you push your feet down. Your hips try to lift over. Be careful, don't actually flip them up. If you're feeling brave, you can lift the heels off the ground. Unnecessary, but it's a fun challenge. Exhale. Fold in as low as you can go. Straight legs. Engage the quads. Lift the knees up. Push the toes into the wrist. Chase the shins with your elbows. Lift the hips up for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, exhale, release the hands to the front of the mat. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, hands go down. So keep the feet wide, but lift your left foot up, step it back. So we're in an asymmetric lunge. Kind of like you're going into a lizard pose. If you want to take a few seconds while I talk here, that's fine. Go into a lizard, shake it out. But we're going to drop the left knee down, and we're going to square the hips and put your right hand on your right knee, left hand on your left hip. For me, this just helps remind myself to, A, pull in the core, because my hand's right there. I just touch it. It reminds me. Squeeze the glute. My hand is right there. If it's engaged, it's not all loosey-goosey, and that's good. And then squeeze the hips. So I push my left hand, square the hips. Push my left hand into my left hip, and my right hand, I pull on my right knee backward. So it's this physical feeling, and sometimes just doing it with the hands. We use our hands so much. I don't know, it helps me connect with it. Hopefully it works for you. And we're just squeezing. As you do that, if you keep your core square, you drop your hips down. Feels good in the pelvis. Now, keep all that and raise your arms above your head. Exhale, right arm out, left arm out, right arm underneath the left arm, and try to come into your eagle arms. And with this, what I want you to do is spread your shoulder blades, but don't collapse into the chest like this. Instead, keep your chest pulling up, and that'll get you a stretch across the deltoids. Lift with the elbows up, squeeze through the hips, through the feet, pulling them in opposite directions. Maybe gaze up, you lift the elbows up a bit more. Maybe your forearms press forward. Take a deep breath in for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hold the eagle, but 3, 2, 1. Inhale, go a little bit higher. You need to take a little back bend. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hold it. 3, 2, 1. And return back to center. Exhale, release out. Inhale, hands above the head. Exhale, right hand back to right knee. Left hand back to Left hip. Hopefully you feel everything still engaged. Glute squeezing. Exhale. Back down to lizard. Lift the left knee up. Shift forward and back. 3, 2, 1. On your inhale, step it forward. Wide leg at the top. Inhale, flat back, either hands to shins or on the ground, whatever feels good. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale. Wide leg, Anjaneyasana. Step it to the back of the mat. Untuck the back toes. Maybe you want to take the lizard while I talk for a second. Just to remind you, you can take it 3, 2, 1. Either way, now we're all meeting back in the back of the mat. Find yourself on your knee in the back. Left hand on left knee. Right hand, right hip. Squeeze the glute of the right glute. Check the core, make sure it's pulling in, the ribs are down, navel in. Pull with your left hand isometrically back on the knee. If you have knee problems, you don't have to pull on the knee. You can just rest it here and isometrically pull. The idea is just remind yourself to do that and engage your feet in the same way. Take an inhale. Exhale, sink your pelvis down while keeping this engagement all together. This will start to open up the inner groin a little bit more. Inhale, sweep your hands up. Exhale, out to the side. Pull your core in. Inhale, exhale. Left arm up below, right arm above. And remember, here we want to squeeze the elbows together, but don't drop the chest in. So squeeze the shoulder blades, protract them apart, spread them apart, and pull your elbows as if they could go apart, but they're stopping each other. Lift them up. Maybe you take your elbows forward, your forearms forward a little more. Inhale. Square the hips for 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Forearms go forward. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, you lift the elbows up a little bit more. Small back bend. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, hold it for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, back to the center. Gently release the eagle. Arms out to the side. Inhale, hands above your head. Maybe they touch. Pull it back to center. Check to make sure your glute is still engaged. Pull back with the left hand. Push forward with the right. Exhale. Back down into your lizard. You lift your right knee up. Drag it forward. Step it forward, whatever feels good. Find your flat back on your inhale. Exhale. Fold it in. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, bend your knees. Step to a plank. Only 2. Shift forward all the way down. Elbows go underneath the shoulders. Forearms in a straight line with the shoulders and the hands. Feet flat on the floor. Pelvis on the floor, lower belly on the floor. And you pull isometrically with the hands. So if I lift my hands up, they go back. So what you want is enough energy that if somebody were to suddenly change the ground, you'd actually pull back like that. You'd have to kind of stop yourself from swimming. Same thing with the feet. You want to pull them as well. But keep the lower belly on the ground. Pull the shoulders through the chest mentally. Spread the collarbones. Drop the elbows into the ground. Pull. Maybe you can lift the hands up, just pulling through the forearms and the elbows. Stretch it out. You should feel a stretch across the abs. And believe it or not, you should feel a stretch across the lower back. It shouldn't be crunching your lower back. If it's crunching your lower back, just come down a little bit. That's okay. I'd rather you get more length than crunch here. And long term, that'll feel a lot better. For 3, for 2, for 1. Drop your head down. Press all the way up into a full cobra for 5. For 4, same thing, dragging your hands back. For 3, squeeze your glutes. For 2, for 1. Gentle. If that didn't feel good, you can always do Sphinx again. Arms go out, arms go forward. And then take little 90-degree circles. Arms go to the top, keep your head down, arms go to the side. Arms go to the top, arms go to the side. If you can, drag your hands on the ground. Just gives your rotator cuffs. You now go to your hips, go to the top. Touch them together, go to your hips, go to the top. Go to your hips, go to your top. Press your feet down while you do this. Pull your core in. Just gives your rotator cuffs some love. And relax everything. On your inhale, push your way back to child's pose. Exhale, let your forehead drop. You did a lot of work, a lot of squeezing. Even though it was a stretch, let your body support itself. Gently relax here. Take one big breath for 4. In, so go in, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Come up onto the tops of your fingertips. Stretch through your back. And we're going to do that breath a little bit longer with a pause in the middle. So, forehead pressing down. Inhale for 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Relax the palms onto the mat. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Elbows. 3, 4. Normal breathing. Find yourself relaxed. Sometimes in order to grow, we have to stop going so much, and hopefully this allowed you to have a little bit of a pause, which will in turn hopefully allow a little bit of growth. Have a lovely rest of your day. Feel free to come up as you will. Thanks so much for practicing with me. See you next time.